Okay, here's my built-in Msuper X charger mod. So I got the little plug here. So I made all of these pieces so that I can kind of have enough slack to set them aside. So I put this foam to press the plug in place because before it kept like rattling in there. So this is actually removable. So I can actually disconnect the cable. And then I can actually put this side panel wherever I want. I cut the hole out and then put some silicone around it so it's watertight. Alright, then you can see this cable I took from an old power supply, and then I just spliced it directly to here, the way that the old connector used to be on there. I added some silicone. This is how the silicone was actually holding it into this case. It was very difficult to take it out. I was worried I was going to break it, but so you can see how they hold it in there. There's no ventilation in here, so I figured it'd be okay. There's actually more space in here than on the actual charging brick. So I flipped the LED over, and then I put glue here to kind of keep it in place. Before I didn't put this glue, and then when I put the panel on, it pushed on it and tore the traces out of the board, so I had to kind of luckily it still worked. Put some more glue here to kind of keep the panel from like just resting on top of these pins. And then the charger cable I left, I just routed it through to the front. I just routed it, folded it back around, and then put it through to the front. So let me show you on the other side how I got it. So on the other side, I put this little switch here. I also pulled it out of an old computer power supply. That's to make sure that the charger, when I'm not using it, it's disconnected from the whole charging setup. So I put like these longer wires cut from the long power supply cable, and I just removed these wires from inside, spliced it in, and then sealed it with silicone so it's also waterproof. All right, and then I ran these. This cable here underneath, the one that's zip tied, that's where the charge port is connected to the batteries. So what I did was I took this wrapping off, and then I spliced a bit of the wire on both sides, and I attached these wires. So one side goes to the positive, and then the other side goes to the negative. And I made the positive actually split in the middle. So these both go to the positive, and then it basically cuts the wire when the switch isn't off. So, and then for the negative, I routed this plug. I had one of these that I was gonna like make my own charger, but I found that I wasn't using it, so I used it for this. So that way the charger is actually removable. So I can just unplug it anytime I want. If I wanted to remove it for some reason, not sure why I would, but maybe if I ever have to take the whole wheel apart, it'll be useful. The shell of the MSX actually has like this long thing with all these little fins on it, and luckily this last fin was like extra wide, so I was able to fit this connector in there. I had to drill a hole through it. So basically you got the positive and the negative. If you're going to do this on your own, make sure you get the right connectors to the right spot, because if you don't and you reverse these, you can actually burn up your charging thing and maybe damage your batteries and that stuff. So this one, the negative, I believe you can see there will be numbers here, so it's hard to see, but the positive would go to the pin number 1, and the negative would go to the pin 2. So you can check that and confirm it with like a voltmeter on your charger and your wheel just to make sure, because sometimes you never know, they might switch up these cables. So I double check that just to make sure. But yeah, this part's removable, and then that's basically it. So here's what the LED looks like when it's plugged in and off. I turn it on, off, on,